Hey everybody, welcome to Unscripted this afternoon. It is great to see everyone on this beautiful day. Don't forget to like and share this program on whatever platform you are joining us with. And always remember that we have live moderators for this afternoon and this interaction. If you would like to comment or need further info on anything that we are talking about during the program, or you just want to say hi, you are free to do so, and we highly encourage it. So today we will be talking with a very special guest, and I had a chance to interview him yesterday. His name's Keven Jones. So let's get started with that conversation right now. And again, thank you for joining us here on Unscripted. We have on today's show somebody who's very special to us. He's worked in many various capacities as a chaplain, and also he has done some amazing work with our basketball church. We started this two and a half years ago, and it has become such a valuable, fresh expression in our church and to our community. So without further ado, I want to get on Keven Jones with us today.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Hey, how are you, Keven?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Doing wonderful. Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Should I call you Chap Jones or Keven Jones?
You can call me Chap Jones. I mean, that's what everybody calls me.
I like it. That's cool. I wish I had a cool nickname like that. I really do. Yeah. So let's get down to square one right now, okay? Two and a half years ago, Coach Jay and Coach Steve started this basketball church, right? And they've done some really great things with 2 nets, a ball, and a gymnasium court, Right. But one of the greatest things about it is that you came along and you brought your own talent and gift to the basketball church, and we've seen some amazing things happen. So I would like to start off today by getting to know you, who you are, how you got active with the basketball church. What is the story there? What is your story? And maybe even what would your story be a year from now? Is that a lot?
Hey, that's a lot, but I appreciate it. It's just one of those things where I came in the ministry probably about 13 years ago. God put on my heart just to serve. I was a head varsity basketball coach for 14 years prior, before getting into the ministry, and always looked at basketball as my ministry. And man, went on a mission trip to Trinidad, Tobago.
Wow.
Went out there just for a basketball preview. I didn't even do a camp. I was just gonna watch, the soccer camp, because we couldn't actually get the basketball camp going. So I was like, hey, I just want to follow along and see how this thing works, and hopefully just learn. So we get to Trinidad, Tobago, and we talk, say, hey, this is the game plan. And I went with a guy named General Abel, and he had speaking engagements throughout Trinidad. And he said, hey, by the way, Keven, you're going to be doing all my speaking engagements. We have a change of plans, and you're going to be in charge of a soccer camp. And I was like, wow, I don't know how to do soccer. And I never spoke in front of more than 20 guys. So it was an eye-opening experience for me. The total move of God, I had nothing to do with it. We saw 200 kids give their life to Christ. And I was never the same. It was just one of those experiences that changed your life forever. And I came back and I resigned from basketball. And it was a tough situation, but I know God was leading me to do that. We had a situation where we had the whole team give their life to Christ in the public school setting. We had a lot of championships that God just orchestrated, and it was a tough move, but I knew God was calling me to do more. He kind of basically put me on an island, and he said, look, I want you to do more. And I went there and I got involved in the chaplaincy went to Bible college at Liberty University, finished that up, and got involved and got trained to be a sports chaplain, and did some training in the NBA with the Orlando Magic, also in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers, also the Carolina Panthers. And, God just been opening so many doors for me to just have opportunities to pour in men and young men lives. And we started a ministry, Alpha and Omega Sports, that God put on my heart to utilize sports as a tool to reach, people that have a heart to serve and follow Christ and also be an impact to the community, what they're doing. And so we started that out in Virginia, and had a situation that came about to be involved as a chaplain at UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, with a guy named Larry Coker, who was a head coach at University of Miami for a lot of years, won a national championship. He recruited my son, and I said, hey, look, do you have a chaplain? And he said, no. He said, let me pray about maybe bringing you in. And he called me up and said, hey, look, I want you to do it. And it was just a blessing to be a part of that. And that was my first full-time chaplaincy position, which was awesome. We saw a lot of young men give their life to Christ and just going out in the community and serving. And then I had an opportunity to come to Orlando to work with the Magic, and that was great. It was a 2-year run. We went with a guy named Jock Vaughn, all these sports people out there. He played at University of Kansas, and he took me in, and this was a great time. It just didn't last too long because he got fired. Oh. And so I was looking. I was like, Lord, what's the next thing you want me to do? And he gave me an opportunity to get out to the University of Tampa. I was out there visiting, just looking around, and had a chance to meet with the athletic director, and God just opened the door, and here I am. So it's been a really, really exciting ride, and it's just been super exciting to just kind of let God orchestrate all the places that He's taken me, and it's been really super to be used by Him. And went out, and it's a school, McLean Middle School, which is right by the church, and I was looking around there because when I was in the school system, I was a behavior specialist, and we did certain programs for underserved kids, trying to help them to understand that they can make it, they can be successful. Because I was one of those kids that didn't have a dad. The mom got killed when I was 12 years old in a car accident, and it was tough. But the thing that is most important is that you got to have a family of people that have a heart to just kind of cultivate you and help you through it. And I did. And God has already put that on my heart to do that wherever I would go. And so I stopped by the church, and I met Mary Jo, and had a chance to talk to Mary Jo and talk to her a little bit about some different things about what's going on and what about McLean, and also how could I help out, and I found out some information that I didn't know about, and I was like, hey, if you ever need anybody to come out and serve, because she told me about basketball church, and I was like, wow, that would be really awesome to be a part of that. Help what's already been going, and also try to get some of those kids from McLean to come out and use some of those guys to be mentors, that they can really help out and make a difference in that area. So that's how it all started. And I tell you what, God has really orchestrated, and Steve been instrumental in just coming alongside me and just kind of showing me what they were doing. And I was like, hey, maybe let's try this as well. And both of us together, man, we have been seeing so many people giving their life to Christ and so many stories from basketball church. It's been an awesome opportunity for me.
That's amazing. I see it myself, and I've actually just in the last couple of weeks, I've seen some guys come into our Youth on Sunday from basketball church.
Awesome.
And in fact, I'm going to come in there Thursday night and tell them about this great opportunity they have to make a next step in their life with Christ, which is going on a mission trip this summer.
Amen.
So hopefully we can get some of those guys on there to take that next step and go out and serve a little bit and really get to know what it means to be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be super. I know there's a lot of guys that would definitely be interested in doing that. Like I said, one day we had 25 guys give their life to Christ in basketball church. It was amazing. It was amazing. I looked at my brother Steve and Amy Jo, and I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. And it was just a heart. And we have seen numbers just grow. And we actually we did a little outreach for Thanksgiving, and we gave some food to people that were in need through the church. That we had extra turkeys and things like that, and we saw there's so much love from that community out there, and God was putting more and more on our heart. People were letting us come in their homes to pray for them.
That's awesome.
I mean, just like they didn't even know who we were, but
right.
We came in love, and we say, hey, look, we got a great church. It's right down the street, and hopefully guys can come out. Some people say they were coming, so I'm glad they did. Some of these younger guys, and also just mentoring some of the guys that are seasonal guys that's been there. We've seen a lot of growth in them, so I'm definitely going to pour into them to actually help out through some of this things that we're going to look forward to doing as we move forward.
There's so much I want to ask you. I want to go back to your days, and you still are a chaplain.
I'm still a chaplain
for UT, right?
UT, yes, I am.
It for the whole athletic department, or just
the whole? Yeah, the athletic department. We actually have. It's one of those things where if the coach let us in, we go in and we kind of really just go after it for chapel services. Also, what we do, I have 12 leaders, and those leaders that I have are leaders on the team of that different sport, and I've trained them up to, when I'm not there and they're on the road, they're going to be leaders. So I call them champions for life.
Cool.
And that's kind of our thing that we use. I say, man, if you want to be a champion for life. And that's an acronym. Life is an acronym, is leadership, integrity, faith, and excellence. And those are the 4 characteristics that I like to teach and, to those guys, and also to move forward in a place where they can understand and exemplify those characteristics. And we definitely looking to move into McLean. I know Pastor Victoria, she's doing a thing for the bus, the good news bus, and hopefully we can get people on board for that, and really kind of get this Champions for Life program we call them Champions for Life at New Hope, because they're gonna give them hope. We got new hope for them, and hopefully we can move it forward in that as the year progress, and also for next year to really get started right away and help see these guys grow from 6th grade on the way up to 8th grade, because that's a crucial time that these guys are really looking for something, and we have something for them. We have the good news,
right?
Jesus, that he loves us, and you can do whatever you put your mind to if you believe, and you got a group of people that's just pouring you on and rooting you and say, hey, you can make a difference.
Now, I'm gonna like probably just a lot of people I know will think of a sports chaplain as being that guy that comes in before the games and says a prayer and that's it. But a sports chaplain is so much more.
So much more. So much more.
And obviously, I mean, you go beyond the limits of just saying the prayer before the game. You create a culture to bring up leaders.
Right.
And that's awesome. That is awesome. What are some of the challenges that you've had as a chaplain for college sports and for professional sports too?
Some of the challenges are that, everyone is wired differently. And what I mean by that, some coaches, they don't know the Lord. And they have an understanding, and that that's important, but they really are careful about who they bring in and who is kind of saying things to the team and what are they saying. And those are the challenges, is that, because we might have a young man or a young lady, because we'll deal with any level of the sport and any person that wants to serve in that capacity as a leader. But sometimes we have those issues where the coaches just feel like, that's not for them, which is tough sometimes. But I always look at it in the sense that there's always one, and we can find one that have a heart, and even if they aren't receptive to us coming in for a chapel before a pregame meal, then we still can influence that team in a way where we can have that person just talk to the team on their own. So, because we don't want to have a push and shove. We just pray and whatever door is open, we'll go in. If it's the back door, we'll go back there. It doesn't matter, So any kind of way we can do it. And a big part of that, you was asking that question, but I want to also emphasize that we also go, and when I talk about Champions for Life, we go to the schools, and that was a big part about McLean. It's the lowest rated middle school in Tampa, as far as it's a 1. It's really tough, but it's a real lot of good kids. I've talked to a lot of them, but they just need help. They just need help. And one of the things we did in the city of Tampa is that we had those guys and young ladies go into the schools, and we talk to them and just say, hey, you can do it. We can encourage them. We've seen their academics go up. We've seen their behavior, get in a place where they can go out and be successful in the classroom. And we call it Champions Day. So we would come over on Champions Day to celebrate that with some pizza, some food. And we actually did a couple of little clinics for some of the kids in the city. So it's been pretty awesome.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. And you're right, McLean is suffering so hard. And it just seems like every year there's something that goes on that just kind of creates more of a challenge for that school. They had a fire this past year, and that kind of set back a lot of things. And we're constantly trying to help them out. And I know there's more schools out there that are like that. It's sad, but I'm so glad to hear that you're taking initiative, and hopefully that sparks some inspiration for other people to take initiative too. Let me ask you something, Chap. What are we missing? What are we missing with young people today?
I think the biggest thing that we are missing as a whole is that it doesn't matter, where the kid comes from. My biggest thing has always been there's kids that need love, because John 3:16, it talks about love all the time, and God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. And if we can just love on every kid that we see, then I think that's the thing that we're missing, is that we feel like well, we don't know that kid. That's because he doesn't live in my neighborhood, or that kid comes from a different area than myself. He might not really respond to me very well, but that's not true. The language of Jesus is universal, and then we just take a step out of our comfort zone sometimes, and say, you know what, I'm just gonna love on this kid. I'm just gonna really or love on this guy, this young man, because I mean when I look at it, I did chapel for just basketball and football. When I got to University of Tampa, I did all sports. I mean, I was doing baseball and lacrosse. I didn't know anything about baseball and lacrosse, but I knew about Jesus. Yeah. And I tell you what, it was really cool that these guys, man, you know, like my baseball guys are like, you know, we get the most guys from our baseball team, and it's really super. But it was all that language of sports, and you might have some different fundamental things that you work on that might be in your sport, but really when it comes down to it, you know, you're wired as a competitor. And Jesus, you know, was a fierce competitor against the enemy, and we try to just really push that into place and say, hey, look, man, we gotta go out and we gotta fight for lives, and we gotta save them, man, and that's my heart. That's the great part of being at basketball church, to see guys come in and then leave different when they came in. You know, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, I can look at one young man right now. He came to me and he said, I just want to change. I just want to stop doing all the stuff that I'm doing. He said, how can you help me? I said, you know Jesus? You want to give your life to Christ? I said, that's how you change. Yeah. And then everything is all gone because his grace is new. Yeah. And I said, you can be a new creature in him. And he just looked at me and he said, for real? I said, man, he said, do you know my story? I said, I don't need to know your story. I know Jesus' story. You know, and whatever you've done, you know, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Because we're all works in progress.
That's right. That's
you know, right. So all that doesn't matter. And he just looked at me like, wow. And I always tell my guys, I'm a no judge zone. I said, because I'm a work in progress. Yeah. And that we can really understand that when we look at a kid, let's don't look at the kid. Let's look at, you know, hey, that's somebody that I can touch, that, you know, he's in my path. We might not be from the same place or the same area. We might not look the same, but you know what? I got Jesus in me, and I'm gonna go out and I'm just gonna try to love on him.
Now, do you think with basketball church and everybody in there and the younger gentlemen in there, do you think that there should be a mentorship program that comes alongside them?
Yeah, well, and that was the thing that we talked about establishing, was from McLean Middle School. We have these 6th and 8th graders that are, you know, definitely in need. You know, the principal already, you know, so excited about, you know, us moving forward in that place. You know, just some transportation issues that we're working out. Right. One of the things that Steve and I, who's a big part of basketball church, who let me in, I want to emphasize that enough that they kind of really loved on me and let me be a part of it, is that we wanted to groom young men to be leaders and coaches, when we call them life coaches, that they can come out and they can take guys out to events and take them and disciple them. So we're discipling these guys at basketball church we started a Bible study. We've done, like I said, some events. We get ready to do a March Madness. So we want to get everybody out and be a part of that. So it's gonna be so super. We want the church to come on and be a part of it. We're gonna really see a lot of fun and see a great thing and get life changes through it. So I think that's the part of it, is that we can really grow that mindset in basketball church, and that's one of the things that we are doing right now. So that is something, yes, for sure. That's going to be a big part of it.
You mentioned the March Madness. I know, I've heard that you all are getting so big. How are you going to pull off a March Madness?
Well, but that's the thing. Right now, we can't do anything, but with God, everything's is possible. So I'm excited about it. I know we talked to we're going to be actually meeting tomorrow and a little bit on it, and we kind of already got the brackets, and we already got the interest. We kind of had some parameters that we were looking at for it, and we're gonna do it like in 2 weeks intervals. So we aren't gonna do it all in one day. So it's gonna be kind of like they do it on for the NCAA. So
right.
It's gonna take some time to get it done, but there will be a champion, and we will host them. So if you guys, anybody that's watching, want to be a part of that, that'll be great.
Absolutely. And it would be a great time for people to come out and not only support March Madness with Basketball Church, but also introduce yourself to these young people's lives. So maybe mentorship is around the corner too.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely, we are definitely looking at that. I would, and one of the things that I was looking into was that hopefully some people will get on board. And you talked about how can you make a difference, and what is the biggest, I would say, you said the biggest separation, the setback, and what can you do? Well, I'll tell you what, you can we look at going on mission trips. I love mission trips. And one of the biggest things that really happened to me was I was so excited to see 200 kids give a life to Christ. It was amazing. Man, here's the problem. We didn't do any follow-up. And I kept talking to my friends, and I said, hey, look, the guys that I went out with, I said, man, we have to do follow-up. We have to disciple. We have to disciple, because if we disciple, then guess what? We can grow them. They can disciple some other people, then some other people get disciples, and then we multiply. And that's important. And so one of the things that I think is very crucial is that, we kind of just, look at, we have a mission right there in that general area where we're located with Basketball Church. And I feel if we can get, people behind and come on out, see what we're doing with Basketball Church, and also how that's going to correlate with McLean Middle School, and how all that can kind of come together and get behind it. I think that'll be a win-win for so many lives in that area, and we'll move forward. I think it's really can be a plug of this people giving their lives to Christ. And I always talked about, like, hey, if I can just get one kid and make a difference, I think that'll be a win.
Absolutely. And you're so right too. I think one of the problems we have, just as in Christians in general and being disciples, is we can lead them to the cross, but once we get them to the cross, it's like our job is done.
Right.
No, everybody, this is just step one of many, 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 many steps. And it takes a mentorship. It takes a process. It takes people helping other people to get them to understand and get comfortable with the idea of going out and multiplying.
Right. And that's the key word, comfortable. Because a lot of times, we get uncomfortable, and the thing is, God is saying, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're uncomfortable, that means that you got to trust me. Mm-hmm. And once you do it and you have a heart for it, then God will equip you to be comfortable and look beyond what you see. And that's the kind of the aspect when we look at Basketball Church. It's just like, man, I'll never forget when I first came in and I met Steve and Amy Jo, and we were talking. It was this instant chemistry and our hearts and everything. And I was like, man, we're going to see a lot of kids give their life to Christ, man. I feel like God is really going to just do something, man. And man, he just didn't do something. He exploded it, and it's just going to continue to grow. And I'm very just blessed to be a part of it.
Well, our church is blessed to have you in it and taking action and leading people to Christ. It's just been an amazing, just fresh expression. And I say fresh expression, and I know a lot of people don't know really what that means, but to me, what a fresh expression is that something you love to do with Christ involved in the middle of it. And that's basically what he's done with your life. You know, you are this person who's passionate about sports, and God has blessed you with a road to travel in it, you know, and we don't know what God's going to do with our passions. And that's the amazing part of his unpredictability, you know. We just don't know where we're going to end up.
We don't know where we're going to go. We it's like getting into planes, like, okay, I don't mind riding planes, but I mean, somebody was talking to me one day, and I said, well, hey, what are you going to do about this? And I was like, well, I don't know what God has planned for this, but you know what? I'm going to jump off this plane, and you know what? I guarantee he's going to catch me. Yep. And whatever I land at, that's where I'm going to do it at. So that's where I am. I said, so be careful. I tell people, be careful when you tell me something. Because if you tell me something, I say, all right, let's do it. And then I'm going to do
it. Okay, so Basketball Church is growing, and I think it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
A year from now, what do you think it might look like?
Oh, man, I think it's going to look like we're going to have to get 4 more goals in there. So we're going to have we have the full court here, the 2 goals here, but we're going to have 4 more goals so we can go this way, and that way, where we can have opportunities to really do more outreaches. I think which would be really big for the community, for the church, because that's the whole purpose, is to to pour the community in with events and showing them how great hey, this church is, and what the love that is spreading. And I really believe that there's some possibilities down the road to do camps and maybe some clinics. We have guys coming out and speaking, and to these young guys, we had a few speakers that came out. Also, really see that the mentorship part will grow, that we could connect the mentorship with the basketball church to the middle school, and create a team, because everybody wants to be a part of a team. And one of my passions is to start a team at the middle school and have these guys from basketball church to be coaches of that team, like I was mentioning before, to be life coaches, to walk them through, to take them to and compete in basketball games, and be there to take them out to different events that they can be a part of, and watch them grow through their high school. Because that's the thing, when you start a relationship with someone, you want to walk them through all the way. And it's kind of like, man, that's my guy that I saw when he was just a little kid. And look at him now, and that's really exciting. I've been a part of a lot of that, and I know we can do it. I know the people have a heart at the church to pour in, and we're excited as we move forward. So that's the kind of, from a year from now, we're looking at 100. I always look at 100. Our goal is to get 100 in there, then we'll move on, and might have to add on to the Hope Center, and to the Life Center. We just keep on moving.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate your time today. This has been wonderful to get to know you and to get to know what you're all about. I've wanted to get to know you and meet you, but for some reason our ministries just never cross or whatever, or just we're on opposite nights or whatever. But this was good enough for now, and I appreciate you just talking to us and giving some information out to people on what it is that you do and exactly what Basketball Church is all about. Because people hear Basketball Church, they hear about boys giving their lives to Christ, but I really don't think they know what exactly goes on in there. It's a lot more than just basketball and a Bible study. It's more than that.
Right. It's been life-changing. And I tell you, I mean, we want people to come out. That's what I hopefully a lot of people will come out for the championship game for March Madness, just to see the excitement, that's the growth of these young men that have been coming out, and just the love. I mean, the love that's generated. I mean, when I come in, I mean, I'm getting hugs, and I can give you testimony after testimony about how these lives been changed. Guys getting jobs, guys are saying, "Hey, man, I'm living a different life." I mean, my grades are coming up. I mean, putting kids on teams. We had reaching out to coaches and getting them on teams to play on, and just hearing great reports. So it's just been a great time, and the more people to come out and see it and be a part of it, I really challenge guys that's watching. Hey, come out and be a part of it. Get plugged in, and let's make a difference together. It takes a village, and we need more people just to get on board and keep being excited about Basketball Church.
That's awesome. Hey, favorite basketball player of all time?
Oh, Michael Jordan. I mean, come on, man, Michael Jordan. My second pick, would be Len Bias. I don't know if you remember Len Bias.
Oh, I was there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. So the quick story.
I don't look that old to you, really?
No, I'm just saying. I love Len Bias, and I know Michael Jordan had got all the glory, but Len Bias was a great player who made a mistake, and when he got drafted, some people might not know who he was, but just a great player. And I had a chance to give him an alley-oop when I was a kid, and I always loved Len Bias. We were talking about this just the other day, but it kind of goes to show that you always have to be mindful, regardless of how much money you make, and all these guys I talk to, some different millionaires or whatever your status is, that you God has blessed you for a reason to go out and make a difference and bring people in. That's why he's blessed you to be a blessing. And those are kind of things that are important, because you only got one life, and make the best out of it. And I'm sorry that happened to Len. So Michael took the spot of Len, because he didn't get a chance to play in the NBA and people didn't know him. But Michael has definitely done a great job.
And one thing I love about Michael Jordan?
What's that?
He failed. He failed at baseball.
That's right.
And a lot of people, they always put him on such a pedestal, and they always want to replicate their lives and get inspired by that. And I totally understand that. But when they trip up or when they fail themselves, they're like, man, they just get so down on themselves. I'm like, remember, man, Michael Jordan wanted to play baseball, and he was not good. He wasn't right. So it's okay.
It's okay.
Perfect.
That's right. Okay. And so he got cut when he was a 10th grader from the varsity. He got cut from the team.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, he got cut from his high school team as a 10th grader. And that's what I tell guys all the time. It's like, through failure comes success. And you can get knocked down. You can get knocked down. And I used to, always put the emphasis on that. Like when we do mentorship, it's like, but you don't understand. Kids will always say, "Oh, well, you don't understand. I don't have a dad. I don't have a mom." Oh, you don't? You don't think I understand? I understand. I didn't have a dad. I have a mom. So it's no excuses, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Don't look for excuses to not to be successful, because in Christ we already won. Yep. And when he died and he rose, we had victory. And so if you don't give up, he'll never give up on you. And you know what? So keep fighting.
Don't let excuses define you. Let Christ define you.
Come on, brother. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Keven, man, I am so thrilled to meet you today, and I want to thank you again for joining us.
Well, look, man. Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a blast. I enjoy myself, man. I'm looking forward to, man, having coffee together or something, man.
Absolutely.
Going out, man. I would love
Absolutely.
to. Really. Yeah, it's been a blessing. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for blessing our church with what you do and who you are.
Well, hey, it's reciprocal, man. I really appreciate it. I've been blessed as well to be a part of it. It kind of just came about. I kind of shared that, and but God had a plan, and I was just like, I'm gonna serve, and it's been a great experience for me, and I look forward to it as we move forward for a lot of years. I'm not going anywhere, so I'm going to continue to be a part of that because it's really, like I said, it's been a blessing to me as well.
Thank you so much. God bless you, and I want everybody to tap into this March Madness that they are doing at Basketball Church. I'm sure we'll find out more information. We'll be posting it on the website and getting information out there. But it would be great to have the church come out and droves to support this. So
that'd be awesome. It's very awesome.
Thank you so much, Keven.
All right, thank you, brother. God bless.
God bless.
From Keven Jones. Thank you for joining us today. It was so wonderful hearing from Keven Jones. He is such an amazing man, isn't he? I just can't imagine what God is going to do with Basketball Church. We are so grateful for him and everything that he's doing. And if you have not had a chance to come out and see what they're doing there, they meet Thursdays at 7 p.m. Anybody is welcome to join. I hear that they need mentors. They need all these. They're going to have March Madness. I think it's going to be so amazing. Come out and support these kids and adults. I mean, it's anybody that's welcome. So if you want to come out and see it and you love basketball, come out and see us. Yes, I know we had a slight issue with Chris's microphone. We are working on that, but that is okay. But anyway, our Fresh Expressions at New Hope are picking back up, and there's new ones coming all the time. I hear about people starting new ones. So go to findnewhope.com for more information. If you want to find out more information about basketball, it is findnewhope.com/basketball. And I hope that you join us next week at 12:30 on Wednesday when we talk to another person. We love doing this and hearing from different people who have amazing walks of life and different things that they're doing in our community. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.